Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Islamic podcast. So in this video, I'm going to be responding to David Wu's Copycat, Reese, who's an ex-Muslim Christian. So recently he made a video where he tries to defend the slavery in the Bible.
Is that really true, though?
I don't make this stuff up.
So yeah, let's check it out and let's see what it says.
A common accusation that is often used against Christianity is that the Bible is a book that indoctrinates or teaches racism. Is that really true, though?
Yeah, I mean, there's no way a book that was used to justify slavery in America can be racist. There's an article on history.com where they basically talk about how in America, slaves were basically given a different Bible because the slave master didn't want slaves to get ideas of rebellion. So they would oftentimes take out passages of the Bible, some passages, and put other passages to make sure that the slave obey the masters, right? And there are many verses in the Bible which justifies slavery. Not only justifies it, it's also justified a racist form of slavery. Even in the New Testament, Jesus even calls people who are not Jewish as dogs. So this story is mentioned both in Mark and Matthew. Jesus left that place and went to the vicinity of Tyre. He entered a house and did not want anyone to know it. Yet he could not keep his presence secret. In fact, as soon as she heard about him, a woman whose little daughter was possessed by impure spirit came and fell at his feet. The woman was Greek, born in Syrian Phoenicia. She begged Jesus to drive the demon out. So here you can clearly see this poor woman is asking Jesus for help because her son or her daughter is being affected by this evil spirit. Let the children eat all they want, he told her. This is Jesus saying. For it is not right to take the children's bread and toss it to the dogs. Dogs. So basically this poor woman comes to Jesus for help, and Jesus, supposedly God, according to Christianity, is calling this woman a dog. He's calling her a dog. Lord, she replied, even the dogs under the table eat the children's crumbs. Then he told her, for such a reply, you may go. The demon has left your daughter. She went home and found her child lying on the bed and the demon gone. We read about this in Mark 7:24 to 30. Now, the woman herself refers to herself as a dog. So clearly she was aware of the fact that people like her were actually considered as a lower class of people. This is the best explanation, because why else would she refer herself as a dog? It doesn't make sense.
Also, even if we were to accept this as a metaphor, calling her a dog can only mean something negative. It can only mean she is not worthy of help as much as other people. The only reason that can be is because she is a Gentile, because otherwise she did nothing wrong. There is no other reason for Jesus to not recognize her as part of the children who deserves the bread.
Then could it be the case that maybe she has done something wrong? No, she's just an innocent woman. I mean, there is no evidence that she did anything wrong. However, what's interesting is that in Matthew's account, this woman is called a Canaanite. And as you guys know, Canaanites, don't get a good reputation in the Bible. But the point is that she is referred to as a dog. Now, if you look at the actual meaning of the word Canaris, and this word Canaris can mean a little dog, a house dog, or a puppy. And this is interesting. So this actually specifically refers to a house dog. So this clearly shows that at that time, Gentiles were considered something like a pet by the Jews, right? So this is like an insult, right? This is like an insult. So Jesus is clearly insulting her. So it's more accurate to say that these are the words of Matthew and Mark. Matthew and Mark are attributing this kind of insulting terminology to this woman. Well, if we read some of the verses of the Old Testament, because in order to understand why she is being referred to as a dog, you have to look at how the Old Testament treats Gentiles. You may buy male and female slaves from among the nations that are around you. You may also buy from among the strangers who sojourn with you and their clans that are with you, who have been born in your land, and they may be your property. You may bequeath them to your sons after you to inherit as a possession forever. You may make slaves of them, but over your brothers of the people of Israel you shall not rule one another over ruthlessly. So basically the verse is saying is that you cannot take any slaves from this Jewish nation that you have, okay? If you want to take slaves, you have to take slaves from outside of, Jewish nation. On top of it, you cannot even take any Jew as a slave. Or even if you do, there are conditions, right? But when it comes to non-Jews and Gentiles, you can't take them as slaves. Your sons and daughters can even inherit them. So clearly, we can clearly see there's a distinction between a Jew and a Gentile. A Gentile is seen as inferior. For example, in Exodus 21, 1-2, it says, "Now these are the rules that you shall set before them. When you buy a Hebrew slave, he shall serve 6 years, and in the 7th, he shall go out free for nothing."
That doesn't make sense.
As you guys remember, in Leviticus, it says that when you buy, you may also buy from among the strangers who sojourn with you and their clans that are with you, who have been born in your land, that they may be your property. You may bequeath them to your sons after you to inherit as a possession forever. So this means that people who are strangers in your land, this means either the non-Jews or this is referring to the Gentiles, you can basically enslave them forever, for an eternity. But as we see from Exodus 21:2, when it comes to Hebrew slave or Jewish slaves, you can only enslave them for 6 years. So here we can clearly see that there are two rules for two different people, right? For Jews, they cannot be enslaved for more than 6 years. But when it comes to Gentiles, they can be enslaved forever. The Bible is clearly portraying the Jewish people as superior to non-Jewish people. This idea is emphasized in the Bible over and over and over again. It gives certain more rights to Jewish people than it does to non-Jewish people. So if you actually read Exodus, it says what you can do to these non-Jewish slaves. When a man strikes his slave, male or female, with a rod, and the slave dies under his hand, he shall be avenged. But if he survive a day or two, he is not to be avenged, for the slave is his money. What this means is that it is not only that you have the right to enslave a non-Jewish for an eternity, you also have the right to beat him. Beat him as long as he doesn't die within 2 days. But if he dies after 2 days, then, it's fine. This is where it actually gets worse, because if you actually read the Jewish commentary in Talmud, this is what it says in Baba Kama, as detailed in the Torah, Exodus 21:18-21, if one strikes another and the injury leads directly to the victim's death, the one who struck him is liable to receive court-imposed capital punishment, which means if they die, you can punish them. You can basically give them the death penalty. This ruling does not apply in the case where a master strikes his Canaanite slaves and the slave lingers with his injury for more than a day or two and then dies, in which case the master is exempt from court-imposed capital punishment.
I don't want to hear. We have seen the evidence.
So what this means is that not only can you enslave these Gentiles, you can also beat them to such a degree. If they die on the 3rd day after you beat them, then there will be no punishment. So essentially, you can not only enslave these people, you can also kill them as you like. You can beat them however you like, without any punishment.
Now, to be fair, there are some exceptions to this, such as you cannot damage their eyes and teeth and a few other things. However, none of that makes a difference because you are still allowed to beat them as long as you don't damage these exceptions.
So is it really a surprise when Matthew or Mark calls this woman a dog? No, because this is what the Bible is teaching. It's teaching that Jewish people are superior than non-Jewish people. Jews are superior to Gentiles. That's what it's teaching. This is why this idea has been embedded among the Jews, or at least many among the Jews, that they are a superior race. This kind of like these Gentiles or these Canaanites, they are lower than them. And this is why when Jesus is calling this woman a dog, she's not surprised. As a matter of fact, she accepted this because she knows that this is how they see them. Now again, I don't believe this is what Jesus said because I believe that the Bible is corrupted. But it's not a surprise to me that Matthew and Mark wrote about this woman in this way because they clearly saw Gentiles in this manner. They saw them as dogs. But the point is, if you simply go by the Christian account and the Jewish account, clearly the Bible does promote racism. And the biggest issue here is that this completely contradicts what Islam teaches. For example, in Hadith, in Muslim Ahmed, 20,489, it says, Abu Narda reported, the Messenger of peace be upon him said, during the middle of the day, at the end of the pilgrimage, O people, your Lord is one and your father Adam is one. There is no favor of an Arab over a foreigner, nor a foreigner over an Arab, and neither white skin over black skin, nor black skin over white skin, except by righteousness. So yes, Reese, the Bible does promote racism against the Gentiles.
Salam everyone, this is the end of part 1. The next part will come out soon inshallah, so don't forget to check it out. If you guys like the video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe and click bell icon for more. You can also support the channel on Patreon and YouTube membership. I'll see you guys next time inshallah, bye.